Hi, my name is Abby Maria.
Hi, my name is Saul.
Wendell Holland.
Brandon Donlin.
Shauhin, not Shauhin.
Hey everybody, this is Mike Gabler, the Alligabler, coming to you live on Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Survivor Squared.
Hello everyone and welcome to another wonderful episode of Survivor Squared, where today I make a fool out of myself for the majority of the time we are here. As you saw in the intro, I call our guest by the wrong pronunciation of his name for the entirety of the interview. And it's not until the very end he corrected me. But hey, that's on me, okay? And it should not deter you from an excellent conversation with Shauhin, not Shauhin, from season 48. I had so much fun talking with this man, breaking down everything that happened in season 48 and in season 50, talking about Joe's honor and integrity game and what that actually means. And has Joe done enough to kind of get himself in line for a win on the big season 50? We also break down everything Shauhin is building in the OC with all the watch parties he has going on down there, what he's planning for 51 and 52, how he handled anxiety and ADHD when on the islands of Survivor, and everything else in between. I had so much fun talking with him, and we may have touched on internet trolls for a little bit, and it got a little bit juicy halfway through this interview. It's a lot of fun and a fantastic time. And also, the puzzle giveaway. We only have a few more weeks on this show, the first ever giveaway Survivor Squared has ever had. And midway through, you can find out how to sign up for that, because once the season 50 premiere airs, that's when we're giving out the puzzle giveaway. So you better sign up before then. If this is your first time on this show, welcome. My name's Tony Squares. We treat Survivor like it's the fifth major American sport on this channel, and I guarantee you, you're going to have fun listening to this one. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, help this channel grow so I can bring on more Survivor greats to break down the game the only way we know how, on Survivor Squared. But until then, here is Shauhin. Well, as the saying goes, I wish they all could be California Girls. And on today's episode, we have one of the original members of the California Girls Alliance. Come on in, Shauhin. Let's break it all down, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, man. And thank you so much for coming out to the watch party. I know you had like a 3-hour drive to get there and back. So thank you to you and to Bailey for coming out and having a great time. You made a video about it, which was really cool. And definitely the crowd out there appreciated you being out there. So thanks for coming out, man.
I appreciated being out there, man. And let's jump right into it. I got a lot to talk about with season 48, with season 50, and everything in between. I want to talk about all the things you got going on in your life, but I want to start right there.
Right on.
Because this season 50, to me, again, I'm very new to the Survivor world. Season 48 was my first season watching live. We started covering the podcast for season 49. And now that we're here at season 50, me and Bailey went all in. We're going to every watch party we can, whether it's in LA. Great. It's lovely that we live in LA and all these things are coming to us. Yeah. But coming down to the OC, we wanted to do that like immediately. When you were throwing those watch parties out there, we were like, we have to get down there. We have to go see it. And again, all of these things have a different vibe to them, whether they're at a bar, whether they're, I think I went to a Ben Katzman and Coach rock concert watch party. Like everything has a different flavor to it. And coming down to yours in the OC was super, super special, because you build it around this family atmosphere, and it truly is. I think you would say the one rule is you got to make a friend, and it's true. So many people were having conversations, coming up to me, coming up to them, a completely open environment that just felt like this is such a welcoming. I think I told you when I met you there, like it feels like a giant sleepover. That's like the vibe it comes out on. So let me ask you, how did this all start? Why did this all start? And where are we now, man? You've built such a great thing.
During the pandemic, that's when I started watching. So I'm a relatively new fan too. And didn't have anything to do. It was February 17th, something like that. Right before the pandemic started, 2020, I went up to visit a buddy of mine, two buddies of mine. We're like, hey, the Panini's about to kick off. We got to like stay home. What are we going to do? And they're like, well, you want to watch Survivor? It's like, that show's still on the air? And fell in love with the show immediately, and leaned over to my friend during season 19, which is the first season I ever watched, and was like, I'm going on this show. And he was like, sure, go for it. Sounds like something you do. Well, you fast forward 2 years and we're still like just now coming out of the pandemic, and we don't have anything to really do together yet. We're still figuring things out. So I invited a couple of friends of mine over to watch Survivor, and they came over, and then 5 friends became 15 friends, and then 15 friends became 25 friends, all piled into my brother's living room watching Survivor. And so it was a sleepover to start, right? Like that's kind of how it started. I mean, I'm talking like couch, like pillows on the floor, blankets on the floor. And when I got on the show, I wanted to kind of keep that same energy, right? That I went out there and carved into the tree, if you remember, Probsty 5G, right? The Wi-Fi, the homage to Shane from season 12. And the Wi-Fi and the plug and all of that stuff. But the only reason I did all of that is because I thought I was going to go home. So I wanted to make sure it was painted if I went home for the Cedric vote. And because of that, I wanted to make sure my crew, Probsty, was out on the island forever. That in the back of every shot would be Probsty 5G, my people. From there, when I got back, I realized like, oh, wow, there's definitely nobody that's throwing watch parties in Orange County. And the watch parties that I went to, like you said, they all have a vibe, but it wasn't the thing that we were doing. And so I thought this would be fun. Let's see if we can create a little community around Survivor, and started it, with one episode during my season, then like a couple during the season 49. And now we've had like 3 during season 50. And it's been really awesome. Last night, or I guess the night before last, had the who's been to 1, who's been to 2, 3, 4, 5. And at 5, there were still like 30, 40, 50 hands up.
That's crazy.
Out of a crowd of 175 people. It's really cool.
That's
really
crazy.
Awesome. Really blessed. Yeah. And now the community's starting to run it on its own. And so for season 51, I think we're going to do every episode. It probably won't be 200 people, but who knows? Like there's definitely a lot of people in Orange County, but it just won't be hosted by me. And that's really the goal of those watch parties is to create a place where we can get together with community that's not alcohol based. Having something that's not alcohol based, it's a third space for people, is so rare. And I've had bars offer me, a couple $1,000 to come host my watch parties there, but I can't have people drinking on my account. My father passed away from alcohol use disorder on Thanksgiving of 2021. And I wanted to create a place where people could go, have fun, enjoy each other's presence, make friends as adults. And it needs to be family friendly. It's a family friendly show, especially now. And so that was really important to me. And I'm really thrilled to see how it's grown and want to continue making that effort to grow it.
I mean, I love the idea that you're now for the next seasons. It's grown into a thing that like you don't need to be there to be the host of it for it to continue because of the community that has been built there. Because when I went down there, I truly didn't know what I was going to be walking into, other than it was going to be a group of people watching Survivor. But there's the puzzling design guy that has all the puzzles outside that people can make. The guy that's making the Rubik's Cube portraits, like I forget her name, but the lady that makes all the sweets and the brownies and the cookies, like
My Sweetest Cupcake 32, Jen. We got Stranded Dot Stone on IG that makes idols for people, special order idols. And she, for the finale of season 49, her and her friends made an idol for everybody who came to the finale.
Oh my goodness.
They made one for everyone who came to the finale. You know how many hours that must have taken? Like, and I didn't ask for that. They just did that. And that's the coolest part. Like Puzzling Design, which is a good friend of mine, Sam, and Leah also like makes puzzles and stuff. And I didn't ask. Like they just did it. And it was so cool because it was community. The community just kind of came together to like, oh, cool. Actually, I could do this. And I'm going to make cupcakes for everybody. You're going to make cupcakes for 200 people? She's like, yeah.
And they're good. I had them. They're good. They're really, really good cupcakes. The cookies with the people's faces on them, they're fantastic. And also,
she has cookies with Joe and Mai's face and Devin, like every single player's. It's crazy.
It is crazy. And she's wonderful to do that. And even Sam with Puzzling Design, like this is the community atmosphere. I went down, I met him, I had a conversation with him, and he was like, hey, I can make a puzzle for your show. And that's like the first ever giveaway on Survivor Squared is the slide puzzle with our logo on it. He's making it for us. We're giving it out in the season 50 finale episode. You're going to hear a commercial later if you're watching this on YouTube in the middle of the show about it, how you can sign up and get it. But yeah, that's all from what we had when we came down to Shauhin's watch party in the OC. It truly gives that Survivor community familial aspect to it, because that's the thing that amazed me the most when I got into this Survivor world. I started off just making silly videos about Survivor. Like, I never expected to have a podcast, to be meeting you guys, to be interviewing you guys, and it exploded because this community not only loves the show, but like is so welcoming to everyone to come on and talk about the show. Not everyone agrees with my opinions that I put out there about the show, and that's okay. But at the same time, they're welcoming to be like, let's talk about it. Let's have a debate. Who's the best survivor of all time? And I'm all about it because I come from that world of sports, and I'm always like, Michael Jordan or LeBron, let's have the conversation. And it's fantastic to see that in the world of Survivor.
Is that where you're from? You're from the sports world?
That's where I came from originally. Yeah, that's where I came up. I mean, I started off in the world of theater. I went to school for acting. Me and Bailey both. That's how we met. and you know, performance and all that stuff. And then sports has always been in my blood. It's me and my father's relationship revolves around football, and so I've always loved that world. And that's kind of where this whole podcast venturing social media video thing started, was covering sports with a comedic flair. And my buddy said,
I'm sober off of sports. I'm sober off of football. Sorry. Haven't watched a football game in like 2 years.
Hey, you're not missing
It used
much.
to dominate my life. 5 fantasy teams and all that nonsense. Like a commissioner of 2 of them, and just decided, all right, I'm done. I did mushrooms in a forest, came out, saw a football game still on, and was like, this is insane. What are we doing? Why are we watching this? This is awful. People are just hurting their brains. And then I started doing the other thinking of like, wait a second, every single school has a football field, but it's only for one gender. And then that football field only leads to one organization, which is the NFL. And the NFL is in big business with alcohol. And then like all of that happened, like, cause you know, psilocybin high. And then I was like, and then now that I watch it, I'm just like, I can't watch this. And then you watch it and like, it's like, oh, a punt, and then commercial, and then timeout, commercial, and then you score, commercial. And it's like, okay, I'm not doing this anymore. This is awful. I'd rather.
So instead, let's talk about the completely uncommercialized, brought to you by Outback Steakhouse, starring Mr. Beast, world of Survivor. I do have to do a coin flip real fast.
Great, well done. Thanks for, that was perfect.
I do have to do a coin flip real fast to see if this interview can continue. But let's talk about the world of Survivor in both 48 and in 50, because as I said, 48 was my first journey live, watching every single week, reacting to it every single week, making videos, falling in love with everyone on that island. And immediately I was drawn to the Joe Shauhin group. I wanted to see Eva succeed. I had Thomas and Bianca on my fantasy team. So like I was ready to go with that whole tribe. I was rooting for all of you, and then the journey that surrounded it. So man, I understand you were, what's the word? Where you were a replacement first, an alternate for season 46, 47, and then came back on for 48. So tell me about that journey, about being so close to it and then actually being cast.
So this is actually a huge thing, I think, for life, in that the alternate journey can be seen in a couple of different ways. One, it can be seen as devastating because it's like, oh, you're next out. And the way that the alternate thing works is you fly out there, you're there for 5 days for a pregame. Like we know MC and Jason were alternates on 49 and played. I was an alternate on 46 and didn't play. I really, and you know, you get to meet with production like one time when you're out there, all of production. So like all the people that are filming, and Matt Van Wagenen is there, and you get to talk to them for a little bit. And the conversation started with them being like, hey, we know it's a tough position to be in. And I hit him with like, no, this is amazing. Like I get to see behind the scenes of my very favorite thing. And I get a massive advantage of being out here and knowing what it feels like and getting a lay of the land and understanding what's going to be going on in my brain. And more than anything, I get to test my reads on other people, and I get to see other people's reads on me. I get to test like, okay, this is what I think of these people. And then I'm going to watch them on television. And more important than that, I got to see other people's reads on me, and boy, oh boy, did they fucking read me to filth. Tevin, if you go back and watch his pregame interview, does a 1 minute and 6 second long monologue about me. 1 minute and 6 seconds long. I know because I've watched it 1,000 times. It's hysterically funny and pinpoint accurate. Okay, 9 people on that cast talked about me, and almost all of them, I have a clip of all of them going like, he's the guy with the beard and like the mustache, and he's got an intense stare and this curly coiffed up hair. They all say the same shit, which is hysterical. And, first of all, a monologue from Tevin, who is now an incredible content creator. He is such an amazing voice in the Survivor community. This guy is brilliant. If you've never heard him sing and do all of the different multi-talented, faceted things that he does, it's truly, truly a spectacular show. And I have a minute monologue about me from him. And then I have all these other clues from all these other Survivor players. And I used that quite a bit the second time I went out there. I understood, okay, dude, you are not hideable. You don't have to do much at all. And people are going to notice you. They're going to recognize you. They're going to clock your shit. So you might need to keep a little bit more of a low profile than even you think. Because I really wasn't doing much other than just like looking at people. Like, that's all I was doing, and that was enough.
I mean, you guys went through all the loopholes to get that the rest of the cast went through, all the interview process. You made it through all the barriers to get there. And so, like, they've already vetted you, essentially. And they're like, we fell in love with this guy. We just didn't have a spot for him in this season. But next season, he fits perfectly in here. I think Sophie Segretti was also an alternate before. Obviously, MC and Jason.
She sat next to me at Ponderosa.
Oh, she was an alternate on your season.
Sophie Segretti sat next to me at Ponderosa, on 48. And I thought for sure I thought she was on. I was excited to work with her, actually. And then like Rachel was the other alternate on season 46 with me.
Oh, wow. Oh my
Rachel
goodness.
Lamont.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was crazy. There was some chatter like when it was like episode 10 or 11 of my season. Like, if I win, that means there would have been 3 winners on season 46. And when I saw that chatter, I was like, yeah, that didn't cross my mind, I'm sure. But anyway.
Can't talk about that. Let's go through season 48, though, because it really was a fantastic run. I loved watching that season about how the Kyle and Camilla run at the end and the way it was captured by Survivor. And it's so rare to watch. Like, I mean, I went through all the seasons after I saw 48 and I watched them step by step, and especially those early seasons. If you play an under the radar sneaky game, it kind of wasn't captured by the cameras because the Survivor world didn't really know how to capture that in the gameplay. It more focused on the Colbys than it did the Tinas of the world. And the way they showed Kyle and Camilla operating in the shadows and then coming up at the end together, I thought it was such a fun way to watch someone take over a game of Survivor. And then you sat there with Joe, with Eva, all that way through, and then at the end your face is the one they cut to when Kyle is revealing his grand plan, and you're like, yes, I loved that. So as a fan of Survivor, how fun was it to live through that gameplay of Kyle, of Joe, of Eva, and of yourself, and then to watch it back on TV? Like, were you happy with the way it all played out, or were you just as amazed watching it again as you were when you were living it?
So the thing that I was really reacting to in that moment was a little bit different than I think maybe would have been interpreted in that moment. A little bit of like insider tea here. I knew that Kyle and Camilla were working together because I was in a secret alliance with Camilla as well. She was doing that a lot on the island. And that's why when I came out of the game, I was like, man, I think Camilla's the one that got me. And I think that she has a pretty good shot at winning this game if they can maneuver it correctly. Hindsight is always 20/20. You learn things once you come off the island that would have changed your mind. And if certain people would have said certain things or been allowed to say certain things at tribal council, then I think the vote would have really gone in a different way. I think that tribal really did have a bit more of a toss-up than I think people realize. That there's a reason that 3 people at that final tribal got votes. Like all 3 people in that final trial. That's super, super rare. That almost never happens. And, if I was to do that all over again, my vote might have gone a very different way, depending on the questions that were allowed to be answered. But my question got erased from that final tribal council. And I think that if that question would have gone a little bit of a different way, that we could have seen a different result. But at the end of the day, like, you're 26 days in, you're tired, you're hungry, you've been through hell out there, and you're doing the very best you can with the limited amount of information that you get at a final tribal. You get 2.5 hours, maybe 2 hours of info. But as far as watching a Survivor season live as a huge fan, that's what I said when I was out there. I mean, there's a confessional of me saying, like, it's very rare that you're in the best times of your life when you're in the best times of your life. And I know I'm here And it's like it oozes out of me and actually out of Rizzo. It oozes out of Rizzo that he is having the best time of his life and he knows it. And I love watching this kid play. We've watched him now for, whatever, what are we at? 40 days of gameplay now from him. It's maybe more, 43, 44, something like that. And I love watching that kid on my TV. Like, he is unbelievable television because he's having such a fun time playing the game. Yeah. And, Devins and I have had our issues that I had with him earlier in the season. But another person who just really sincerely seems to enjoy the wonder that is playing Survivor. There is an intoxication that happens to you when you're out there. And a lot of it also has to do, excuse me to make it, bring it home for everybody in a way. A lot of it has to do with the fact that you don't have your phone. You don't have the internet. You don't have all this other bullshit getting in your way. And throughout the day, you have moments of complete silence where you're put on ice, you're told to be completely silent, and you're often told to put your head down. And what is that if not meditation? What is that if not a break in your day to just be with your own thoughts for a while, to be bored? How important it is for those moments to happen in your life. And right now, we wake up and within 30 seconds, our phone is in our hand. Yeah. Our phone is our alarm clock. And we never have phone-free time anymore. And if we do, we have to announce it to the world. What have we done to our fucking brains that we've let these algorithmic corporate overlords infect every single little facet of what we do? And Survivor out there allows it. Dude, it killed my ADHD.
Really?
While I was out there, ADHD was gone. I was hyper-focused. And now that I'm back, I'm on Vyvanse, baby. Vyvanse living for me. Okay. Yeah. Coursing. And so that is one of the cool things to see is people really enjoying themselves out there, but because they know how intoxicating the game is.
No, I love that. And I got a couple of things I want to touch on there, but I don't think I can hear Bailey, my co-host, in the background going, you need to ask this question because you brought it up. And if you don't want to answer it, I don't want to get you in any trouble. But what was the question you asked at 48 Final Tribal that was cut?
I asked, the thing that I love about Survivor is so rarely talked about, and that is the dark arts. So the dark arts are guilt, intimidation, and shame. How did you use guilt, intimidation, and shame to further yourself in this game? That's the question that I asked. And if you remember our season, there were some very important things that happened in our season where guilt, intimidation, and shame became a very large but untalked about portion of the game. And I asked that because I wanted to know how we felt as a cast about those moments. And there were certain things that wanted to be said that couldn't be said. There were things that were unspoken. And I think that's part of the way that Survivor goes. Part of this game is, what are you willing to do and say to win the title of Full Survivor? And the beautiful part of this game is there are lines people will not cross. There are lines you will not cross. And I love that about Survivor because money isn't everything. The title of Soul Survivor isn't everything. It's not. It's awesome. It's cool. It's amazing. It's an incredible thing. But it's not everything. And there are lines that I wouldn't cross personally. There were lines that for sure other Survivor castaways wouldn't cross. And good on them. Good on them for not crossing those lines, for standing on their morals, for choosing themselves and their integrity over everything else.
Let's push that conversation forward to Survivor 50, because a big storyline, especially early, was this honor and integrity sort of alliance, this old school mindset that the Colbys and coaches, the Chrissys and the Stephs, and then bringing on the Jonathans and the Joes in the world of we have each other's back, the honor and integrity, and then some of the players immediately going back on that. And the story about Joe not wanting to write coach's name down when you have to write the pair, so he goes up and just writes Chrissy, and production says you have to go up and write Coach's name, so he misspells it, so he technically didn't write Coach's name. There's a lot going on, and the Survivor community, which I don't want to get into, kind of handles that honor and integrity group in a different light than they would another alliance. And I want to talk about it from your perspective because you played with Joe, and now he's on again season 50, and you saw everything he did and the way he was portrayed on season 48 and now on season 50. He seems to be openly butting heads with another person on that cast, with Rick Devens. Every time Rick does something, the great editors of Survivor cut to Joe. Like they always cut to Joe's reaction, and it's always the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So I don't want to get into anything that happened on the island or any tea being spilled, any behind the scenes stuff. I just want to get the opinion of you as a man who played with Joe on 48 and as a man who knows Survivor so well. Why do you think the gameplay of Joe and Rick have clashed so much? And do you think there was any way that this was ever going to work out other than what we're seeing right now?
I think that Devens never really wanted to work with Joe. And that's why Devens lied to Joe, even though he was pretending like he wanted to work with Joe, which is Survivor, right? No problem there. But you can't get caught doing that, right? And so I don't really have a problem with the hand-wringing about like, oh, you know, whatever. The idea that Joe is hard to work with, I don't think that's true. I think he's super easy to work with, actually. Like, he's pretty straightforward, and finding that in the game of Survivor is really hard to do, and it's really nice to have because you can pretty much trust it a lot, or a good majority of the time. Whereas Devens is incredibly charismatic. He is so charming, and he will make you think he's working with you when he's really not. And he really make you think he's really working with you when he's definitely not. And that, I think, is look, you know, a lot of the fans are like, it's a game of Survivor. People are going to lie. Yeah, but they're not supposed to get caught, number one. And when they do get caught, it hurts because it's not someone that you spent 5 minutes with, which is what you think by watching it on television. It's someone that you spent hours and hours and hours with on a fucking bench, listening to their stories about their kids and their life and their wives and how complicated everything is. And these aren't just players on a basketball court. And if they are, they're the ones that are on the same team and they're lying to each other. And so you see someone get upset, and you're like, why are they getting upset? It's lying in a game. Assholes, you go out there. You become best friends with somebody. You hear about their kids and everything that's going on in their lives. You try it. It's way harder than it looks to just be like, oh, he lied to me. No big deal. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. Are there people that play that way? Sure. I think that there are different gameplay styles. Each of them is valid. You can play whatever style you want. As far as the honor and integrity thing, that's a play style. Is it annoying? I don't know. A lot of fans are begging for us to go back to the old school. That was old school.
Yep.
So you're just begging for the old school, and then you're mad about the old school. And that Venn diagram is a circle, by the way. So listen, I keep hearing some of these crazy takes. Like, I want to see old school Survivor. No, you don't. You don't. You don't want to go back and watch football when it was just no forward pass.
Yep.
When the forward pass hadn't even been invented yet.
Yep.
You don't. No. It's boring. It's slow. It was still great television for then. It was transformative back then. Mm-hmm. But the game has evolved. The meta evolves always. And the loudest voices on the internet are actually not the voices worth listening to. They're really not.
No.
The people that get all these likes and shit on Twitter, they're not the average Survivor fans. They're not. They're really not. No. And production trying to please those people is just the wrong direction, and they know it. And that's why it's like it's hilarious sometimes to me what people are getting upset about. And then you realize when you're on the show and then you like run around in real life, wait a second. Real life people and internet people, oh, they're different people. Dude, I have a video. I have the coolest video on my phone right now. Uh-huh. And it's this guy who was talking a bunch of shit on Joe on the internet. Mm-hmm. Okay. We're at the Atlanta watch party, and this guy goes up to Joe and starts kissing his ass. Wow. Just apologizing, asking him to take a picture with him. And it's one of those moments where I realized, oh, right. a lot of these people online, they're just saying shit.
Mm-hmm.
They don't think we're real people. They don't care. Like, they're just saying shit. And it's only negativity that gets traction.
Yep.
Because negativity gets a disagreement, it gets traction. That's not real. Because if someone went online and was like, oh man, I really like this episode, 0 likes on Twitter.
100%. 100%.
Right?
100%.
That's a little monologue there, but
no, I have so much to say on that, and I'm happy you brought it up because for a long time now, I've been in this world of making videos online. I've been doing it for about 5-6 years. Every single day I've put a video online. It used to be about the world of sports and comedy, and now it has evolved in the world of Survivor, and it's been a blast. And the community, as we talked about, has been so opening and so welcoming.
awesome.
However, I have seen, specifically on Twitter, and there's a reason why I'm not on Twitter. It's so easy to come out with, like, it's basically who can get the meanest joke off the fastest. It doesn't matter what it's Survivor or the football or the NBA. It's whoever can get the meanest quip off as fast as they can. That's what succeeds. Right. And I've seen a lot of accounts out there, specifically on Survivor, that every season they rotate a new person as their profile picture, and they're a blank Stan account, and they're just spouting off shit forever. And they get that traction, they get those likes, they get that clout. And I understand. I've been making videos online. I understand what clout chasing is online. I also understand that negativity sells, especially in videos. I, however, have a huge... Because I've said some things that I've disagreed with on Survivor players. I understand they're real people, but I don't like some of their play. I've learned to not like some of those people. But when I put my opinions out there online, I stand 10 toes down, and also it's my face and my voice out there. And I understand if I ever meet them in the future, they're going to come to me and be like, hey, Tony, you're an asshole. And I'll be like, listen, I understand this is my thought process. And I will stand up and I will have that conversation with them. One of them happened on your season. Like, there are some people I like, some people I don't like. And I will be there, and I understand that they're allowed to be mad at me about it. But the hiding behind the black, facade from the shadows has always made me so mad that is sort of okay, and we're supporting it. Because if you have an opinion like that, feel free to put yourself out there saying it, and then I'll respect you more for having it. I don't know. Maybe that's a high horse thing for me to think.
The mental difficulties of hearing like what feels like everyone's opinion about you when you're on a television show like this is really tough. And one of the things that I really tried to do was set up the mental structures when I came back to understand, hey, if you're going to pay attention to the negative comments, if you're going to talk about the negative comments, because there's going to be negative comments about you, right? Someone said I dye my fucking beard. Okay? Said I dye. There's gray in my beard. I don't know what. First of all, you can come from me for a lot of things, but my beard is not the fucking thing you're coming for me for. Okay? Give me a fucking break. Now, I knew that this shit was coming, but I thought, okay, what's the mental structure that I need to put together to help myself here? And it was, if you pay attention to the negative comments and you talk about them, for every negative comment you talk about, you have to talk about all comments equally. Guess what? The positive almost always outweighs the negative. And you're only allowed to talk about comments that come from people who show their face, have an actual name, or you have to say the name when you talk about the negative comment. You can't say to yourself or to your friends or to anybody else or on the internet, everybody is saying, the internet is saying, not allowed. You are not allowed to do that. X, absolutely not. You have to say their name. Donkey Balls 364 says that I'm a shitty player. Then you realize the ridiculousness in that. The fucking whatever, name a player, like Francesca Stan 37 says that I'm terrible at the game and that I should never have played and should never have been cast, and that I'm a DEI hire or something. It's like, okay, this is ridiculous. And if you're out there and you make content, if you're out there, you're a Survivor player, reality star, make sure if you're going out there right now, if you're 52, 51, and you're just coming back soon, or you're going out there soon or whatever, set up those mental structures now. Set up those rules for yourself now, where you say to yourself, if I see negative comments, I am going to remove them from my brain, or I'm going to memorize their name, or I'm going to give them equal time to all the positive comments. Because if you don't do that now, your brain goes into fight or flight. As soon as you see that stuff, our brain pays attention to the negative more than the positive, because the negative is a threat to our survival, because we think people are going to kill us. They can't, they won't. They're all cowards. Every single one of you fucking internet trolls is a coward. And none of you would put yourself out there in the way that we have. You're all jealous and cowards. And if you saw us, you kiss our ass and ask us for pictures. So instead, I would advise that you internet trolls take a deep breath, relax, touch some grass, go do something that you would actually enjoy doing, something meaningful, because the internet lights are not going to fill the hole that is in your fucking soul.
That's I have to put a beat under that. I have to put like one of those ether beats under that, because that was a perfect filleting of all of the internet trolls that are out there. And you kind of
and thank you, by the way. Like, thank you to the internet trolls.
Oh yeah.
Without them, our haters make us famous. Like, you're putting money in our pocket, so I don't mind it. But just as long as you have the mental structures to deal with those people, it's all good. I used to just salute the internet trolls. Just salute. Like, just hit them with the salute emoji, because they're doing very important work for us. We need them. They are necessary. It's just they have to be viewed that way by the Survivor community, by the reality TV stars, by anybody who's in content creation. You have to know that the trolls are the ones that make you famous. The people that love you don't help you go viral.
And I do want to say, you did give advice, because I was going to ask you. I ask every Survivor, especially a new era Survivor player that is just so fresh off of being on the show, watching yourself on the show, and dealing with all that. The 51 and 52 casts that are going out there, I was going to ask you for advice for them, and everyone has a very similar thing to what you just said, in that it's going to be out there, and you can either completely block it off, but everyone reads them. Like everyone has said, like, you read them, you can't not read them, and you have to understand that you have to compartmentalize it in some capacity, that you are so much more important.
My friend screenshotted the best insults and sent them to me, okay? My friend screenshotted them and sent them to me to make sure that I saw them.
So, okay, advice point number one, get better friends for the 51 and 52 cast.
They know I can take it. My fucking ego is fine. I'll take some deep breaths. I'll be all right.
Want to practice puzzles before going on Survivor? Don't worry, Survivor Squared has got you. Happy to say we are partnering with Puzzling Design, who creates custom puzzles inspired by competition reality shows, including Survivor. They make replicas, remix, fully original puzzle designs, and their work combines over a decade of engineering expertise with 3D printing, woodworking, and vinyl graphics to turn your specific vision into a memorable competitive experience. And here at Survivor Squared, we are giving away our very own Survivor Squared themed slide puzzle. The way you can enter is do two things. Number one, comment on the episode you are watching right now, whether it's on Spotify or YouTube, wherever you are. Leave a comment and try to write something more than just hello. Make it engaging. Have a conversation. And number two, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Even if you're listening to this podcast on an audio-only platform, subscribe to the YouTube channel. That's how I'm going to pick who the winner is. And we will be drawing the winner on our Season 50 finale podcast. That's when we will break down who wins this show, who wins this Survivor slide puzzle, and send it directly to you. But excited to do our first giveaway on the Survivor Squared podcast. Leave us a comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and you could be getting your very own slide puzzle. But now, back to the show. Let's talk about, though, this new era world, because I do think, as you said, going back to the old era, people want the old era to come back. I just watched all the seasons again. 2025, I watched every single season of Survivor week by week. You can catch my recaps online. You can go back and see those early videos I made. There's not a lot of peanut butter and jelly, and there's not a lot of fluff in there. It's very peanut butter and jelly, because it's very much one alliance versus another alliance, and they pick each other apart until the power sits on top, and that's rinse and repeat for every single season. Fantastic television, but boring gameplay compared to what we're getting right now. I'm not a fan of the Jimmy Fallon, Mr. Beast, Billie Eilishes of season 50. However, the ingenuity that's been in this game is so much better than what it has been in the past. For the new era world, though, I do think it gets a bad rap, and I really have enjoyed these 40s seasons. I wish they had themes again, but there are some great players and great moments from all of these seasons. So I ask you, if you can pick someone on 48 if you want to, but if you had another new era returnee that you could throw out there, if we have another new era second chance season or blood versus water or whatever we're getting, and we're just casting new era people, because the 12 people on 50 have definitely advanced their game and made their mark and made their star bigger by being on a returnee season. So I'm begging Jeff listens to this. If we have another new era returnee who's the one new era person you'd want to throw back on that island if you can't pick yourself.
I would like to see, because I want to pick someone who I think has a genuine shot to win the game. That is a very important thing to me. I don't want to just watch someone for entertainment's sake, and I don't want to watch someone who's just going to do the same thing that they did again. So I do think that it would be interesting to see someone like Katura back out there. I think that she could have a really good shot to win the game if she played again. I really enjoyed meeting her. She's like a really dynamic, awesome human who has some really cool stuff coming out. Let's see here. I met Sophie Bellardi last at my watch party.
Yeah.
That she's gangbusters. I think she's almost like a guarantee at this point that we'll see her again.
Yep.
I think that she's definitely going back out there, so I don't need to make too much of a case
They'll
there.
bring her back as a captain for a season.
I would like to see her a little bit older though too, so that she, she's young. So I would like to see her like in a couple years, maybe like 3-4 more years before we see her again. There's something to that. Caleb would be fun to see again, to see if he can learn from his mistakes on season 45. Let's see here. 46 had a lot of really amazing people. I know that Liz will never get cast again because of what they did with her in the edit, because she actually isn't a millionaire and she was lying the entire time for the switch. But I would have liked to see her try again without all of the antics. See that. But maybe at the top of the list, Venus.
Yeah.
Venus again.
I'm
like to see
100% there. I was amazed.
Person out there for a second time.
I was amazed she doesn't have more of a, because again, I'm going through all these sort of blind and I don't know what other people's reaction are, the popular takes for their seasons. I was watching that. I was like, Venus is awesome. I think Venus, not only is she great to camera giving her confessionals, but she's really a good player. She's very cutthroat. She's exactly what this online crowd should want. And I'd love to see her play again.
I wanted her as my alliance partner so bad after I watched her play because she's the exact alliance partner that I need. Someone who's going to shoot me straight, tell me when I'm full of it, tell me when I'm flying too close to the sun, have the right take on who needs to go home and who's the biggest threat. She was dead on throughout the game. Why are we getting rid of Mariah when Charlie is the way bigger threat? What are we doing? And I think that type of player who's going to shoot me straight is the thing that I needed out there that I didn't really have out there. Because Joe and I were boys. Like that's one of my best friends because we just got along so well. You reminded me of my brother and my best friend Ali, both wrapped into one. And we had a blast we woke up in the middle of the night every night, like talked for an hour, like every night. You know what I mean? This is stuff that they don't show.
Yep.
The reason he wasn't freaked out when I woke him up like a wombat is because we did that every night. Woke him up with my breath. My breath was so stank out there. I just, like, what the fuck is that?
Let's push forward on Joe because I do want to talk about the 9 remaining players on season 50. I know I've kept you for a while here, but I want to touch on to your.
I'll watch you all day, bro. This is fun as hell.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that, and I'd love to have you. You talked about Rizzo, how much he's impressed you for how young he is and how much his gameplay has evolved in the days he's been on there. We talked about Joe, Rick Devens. There's 9 players remaining, some legends of the game, Sari and Ozzy, some people we may not have expected to be there. Out of these 9 players, who has impressed you the most with their gameplay and the stranglehold that they might have on the finish line here?
I'm going to be a homer here. I'm going to say Joe because I think that people think he's just the honor and integrity guy, but they're not actually paying attention. They've painted him with that brush, but they're not paying attention to the stuff that he's done in the game. Number 1, he's been asked to change his vote many times, and he's done that. Number 2, saying honor and integrity can be a lie. Like it can be a lie. You're allowed to lie in Survivor, right? And then number 3, I want to go back to what he did, not this past episode, but the episode before, where Sari comes back on her boat, right? Like the chariot has brought Sari back to save the island from voting out Rick and Aubrey, and she changes the vote. And what does Joe do? Joe is the only person in the edit who questions her. who is like, why are we doing this? Like, everything's lined up. Like, why are we changing direction? And he does that in front of 4 other people. There's 4 other people sitting there, which I think is brilliant, right? This is a debate tactic that I used regularly out there, and a debate tactic that's really important to use when you're trying to persuade other people of someone's threat out there, like that someone's a threat. You want to make them make good arguments in front of them while you're making bad arguments or no argument at all. So if you're a Survivor 52 player, this is very important that you pay attention to. Sometimes it's important that you get someone to really justify the move while you're in front of other people to show the other people how good they are at the game. Because that's what he did. He's sitting there asking questions and pretending like he doesn't know what's going on. Meanwhile, Cirie is showing off how amazing she is at this game. And doing that early, I think is unnecessary. I think it puts a huge target on Cirie's back, right? Whether Rick and Aubrey go home or Coach and Chrissy go home on a season like 50, I don't think matters that much. And Joe recognized that by voting Coach and Chrissy at the end of the day, or Chrissy and then having to go back and write Coach. Okay, Ozzy's coming for me. Is he? Like, I don't think that he is, but he could. And so that I do think is an evolution. I think that's awesome. Ozzy, same thing. I think Ozzy's evolved quite a bit. Ozzy's playing maybe more of a strategic game than we've seen from him in the past, as he's been caught by Jonathan. Jonathan is playing a much more strategic game than I think he was given credit for in season 43? 43? 42, yeah.
Again, theme your seasons. Your seasons.
Yeah, totally, 100%. I hope they bring that back. I think they will. Anyway, so I think those players have been really doing an incredible job. Cirie is being Cirie. Like, there's nothing different there, and not that she needs to change. She's incredible. Like, she's the best. She's the best to never win Survivor. So it's fine. But
I find it amazing that me and Bailey went through the power rankings of this cast before season 50 aired, and we had Cirie probably around the middle because we said she's such a big threat, they're going to take her out immediately. And we said if she makes the merge, she's going to be in line to win this thing because she is Cirie, and what she has done.
If she just makes the final, she wins.
It's unbelievable. Everyone on that island is talking to Cirie, and I am waiting for all of the people on the island to go, why are we all talking to her? Why are we not getting her out? And I'm wondering, because she still has that Rizzo-Ozzy alliance, and I understand they can't play the idols for her, but they have a means to try and save each other. That 3-way vote is getting a lot more powerful, only 9 people left. So I'm wondering who's going to, when that rock is going to fall on Cirie, because she's been playing amazing, and you're absolutely right. She has no need to change anything.
I don't think Rizzo is going to let Cirie get anywhere near that finale. I don't think Rizzo's letting Cirie get anywhere near that final 3. I can't imagine he's not going to turn on her. I think he has the game to turn on her. I think. That's what I would assume. I think Ozzy will kind of stay with Cirie for as long as he can. Yeah. But I do think even he realizes. I don't think anybody thinks that they can beat Cirie out there. The interesting thing would have been is if Cirie really didn't run any votes. If she just sat back and relaxed and didn't do anything really because she knew that all she needs to do is make it to the end.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who said this. My memory is going. I think it might have been Drew who said this. There are certain players who or maybe it was Rob, I can't remember. Just by the nature of their personality, if they make it to the end, they win. Mm-hmm. The idea that they even made it to the end is ridiculous. They should never have made it to the end, so they win. Mm-hmm. Cirie is one of those people. I think Jam Jam is one of those people. Like, just his personality is like so ridiculous that him making it you should have voted him out for sure. Yep. And by virtue of making it to the end, he wins.
Well, we have quite the run here. Me and Bailey will be back later this week to break down the latest episode. There's only 3 episodes remaining, and that finale is going to be juicy in Los Angeles. I can't wait to hopefully be in attendance and interview all the people that are there and talk about everything going on. I assume next week you're going to be in NorCal with Joe, right? Hosting a little watch party there?
Yeah. Joe invited me up to go do a watch party up there, and thrilled to go up to my old stomping grounds. I went to UC Davis for law school, and so get to go back up to Sacramento. I love that area up there. The watch party's in Vacaville, and so it should be a good time.
That's awesome. That's awesome to see you two together. But before I let you go, I have to ask one final thing, because I am a man that likes to have a little scruff on his chin as well. You have a marvelous, marvelous beard. Before we recorded, I'm letting people poke behind the scenes here. We had some beard oil going in the beard to make it all fluffy and nice. There it is again. So give me some beard care tips, my man. What do I need to do to make it as lush as yours?
Okay, so here's the deal. I don't have a brand deal for beard oil, so I'm not going to promote anything right now. And if you wanted that I could. But okay, here's the thing that I think bearded men that are in their masculinity should be doing more of. I think you should be applying beard oil probably 2 or 3 times a day for a couple different reasons. Number 1, gives you a good shine. Number 2, it is a moment of self-intimacy and self-care that I think men don't engage in enough, that we don't take care of ourselves, or it's viewed as it's super gay to take care of yourself, as if you should be scared of being gay. And I think that is huge. It's self-soothing too, that when you have that relationship with this part of your face, take care of it. Take care of that part of your face. It's nice. It smells good too, and it's fun. And the women out there who might be listening to this, who have bearded men in their lives, put beard oil on your man. Okay? Go get some beard oil, put it on your man. And that is one of the coolest intimate experiences that I think you can have. And so it's definitely one of those things that it's going to make your beard look nicer. It's going to take a lot of the flakiness out of the beard. It's going to make it so that you're not as itchy too, so that you can actually grow a little bit longer, fuller beard over time, because you're not having it's itchy, I'm going to get rid of it. And it's like one of those things that also calms you down, right? If you're putting beard oil on so if your fight or flight is kicking in, you can take a bunch of deep breaths. But also like that self-soothing thing that happens when you're pulling down on your beard and massaging your own face, that also calms your nervous system down. And that's why I do it. That's why I put beard oil.
I love it.
Calm myself
down. To any beard oil companies out there, get on this, man. You should look at that beard. Get this man.
Seriously.
We just saw Sophie Bellardi do an IHOP commercial for Tres Leches pancakes. Let's get some beard oil on my guy Shauhin.
Kind of unbelievable, really. What a missed opportunity for them. But that was why I couldn't take beard oil out to the island. Yeah. Right? Like they didn't allow me to take beard oil out to the island. I tried to look up how to make coconut oil for the beard before I went out there, but didn't end up working out. But that is why I took these out there. These are like the bracelets that I had on the island. Mm-hmm. And this is what I used to use for breath work on the island, because this is a 25 beads all the way around. It's from Shinola. It's gorgeous. These are 300 million year old stones, actually. And I would count the 25, and then I would get to the metal one and know, like, okay, cool, 5 breaths left. Slow it down, do your 5 breaths, like hold, it's a whole thing. And then, of course, this was the other thing that I had out there that was the thing that would also help me self-soothe while I was out there, so that I could calm myself down. Managing your nervous system out there is really hard. Yeah. You don't have anything to help you do that. And so you really do have to have your wits about you, and you can't have your wits about you if you're in fight or flight. And creating those foresight thoughts about what you're going to do out there and how it's going to feel out there. That is, I think, and maybe an underrated tip for players that are going to go out there. They're so focused on the athletics. It doesn't fucking matter. That doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But by the way, I trained like a girl. Like when you're training for Survivor, train like a girl. Go do Pilates.
Oh yeah, core
go to a
work.
Spin class. that is how you train for Survivor. You know, there's only a few challenges that are just strength based, unless you're on my fucking season and it's all goddamn arm based. But anyway, the thing that I would train if I was going to go out there on Survivor again, or if the thing that I think is underrated is controlling your own nervous system, knowing how to get you out of fight or flight and back into your thoughtful brain, and setting up things that you do every single day so that you can create that inner relationship with yourself. That intrapersonal conversation is so important out there. That's where the paranoia comes from. That's where the delusion comes from. That's where all of it comes from. It's an unmanaged intrapersonal conversation. And that was something that I focused on a lot when going out there. And then, of course, your perception of self.
Yeah.
And others' perception of you. So those are the things that I think are underrated when it comes to preparing for going out to play Survivor.
No, I love that, because the next time I have you on, I'm probably going to go into that a little bit deeper, because I talked to Brandon Donlin about his journey, about how he had a panic attack on the marooning challenge, and it dealt with the ladder and him flipping out. And I suffer from anxiety in my own personal life, and I have little tips and tricks and little soothing ways to get myself out of that fight or flight mindset. And to know that is, I mean, your cameras are always on you. You are alone on that island. And then that's my biggest fear of if I was ever going to play. Like, how would I be able to deal with what I deal with every day when I don't have my normal comforts around me? I can't go and just let me take a nap in the bed. Like, that doesn't exist. So, like, how can I deal with that mindset? And Brandon gave some great answers. I'd love to talk to you more about it. But my friend, I don't want to take up any more of your time. That might be a season 51, season 52 conversation. Shauhin, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, man. This was a blast.
Hey, and like, not to do too much here, but for sure, if that is something that you deal with, go figure that out. Like, if you're listening to this and you're like, man, I deal with that anxiety, make sure you go figure that out. And, I coach communication. I'm a communication coach for a living. High-level communicators all have strategies for this because it comes up every single day. Big meetings bring stress. And that is one of those things that you can solve for, or you can let the algorithm solve for it by scrolling Instagram, which is not helpful. Or you can try and depend on taking a shot of alcohol, which again, does not help your fucking nervous system. There's all these things that they will push on you to fix your nervous system, when the things that you have within you, the things that you are born with, that you could be naked with, those things are the things that actually help you have control over your nervous system, so that your nervous system isn't controlling you. If you need any help with communication, I'm definitely the person to talk to. Shoot me a DM or go to youlouder.org and we'll get you sorted.
Absolutely. I love that. And thank you for bringing that up, Shauhin. But that is it for today's episode of Survivor Squared. As I said, me and Bailey will be back on Thursday. We'll be back on Monday with a new guest. We're at the end of Survivor Season 50, but that does not mean we're not going to cover it in depth and break down all the moves that are on it. But until then, we shall see you later on this week.